what's going on, guys? It's Power Games here. Let's see if the stream goes live. I think it did. Yes, it did. And today I'm going to show you guys how to install a Windows Server 2019. I'm also going to show you how to connect the Windows PC to the domain, which we're going to make in this video as well. So yeah, if I think that's it then. I think I can start doing this. So a few things I want to mention in a few seconds. What language do you want to install? You can probably get like different languages. I don't know. I only have this one, so and I have the Dutch one as well, but that's it. I'm from the Netherlands, as you may hear from my accent, which is quite bad to be honest, but it works. So I'm from the Netherlands. In the Netherlands we use United States International Keyboard Layout. So set this up however you like, and then just press next. You press install now, and then it will start installing. This will take a few minutes. So I am going to see if let's see. You can get a product key, of course. Let's see. I currently don't have a product key with me, but you can choose out of actually 3 things, but one isn't on here. You can choose between Windows Server 2019 Standard, the desktop experience, or the server core. I'm going to use the desktop experience because I'm not familiar with server core yet. I'm still going to do that, but I didn't learn that yet, so that comes at another time. You can choose between the Windows Server Standard, Data Center, and you also have one like below this like Standard, which is called Essentials. That's only supporting 50 devices. That's supports only a maximum of 25 users. So that's a little bit of an issue most of the time. So yeah, you probably just want to get Standard, or you're like in a data center, but in a data center I would not recommend the desktop experience. But it's if you're running the desktop experience, you can install almost everything you can install on Windows 10 as well. So that's the easiest. So I'm going to use Standard, not the data center, because I don't need it. It's also consuming extra drive space. You can get a few more virtual machines out of the data center version. It reflects in price though. I think this one is around, what was it again, $2,000 or something, and this one is 900. So choose whatever you like. And if you're just testing this, then it doesn't really matter that much. Unless you want to use a lot of virtual machines, then it does. But you probably want to accept this, read this, of course. I have read it already. And yeah, you need to accept, otherwise you're not going to be able to install this. What do you want to do? If you had Windows Server installed, you could do install Windows and keep file settings and applications. You could do that, but like I always recommend like a custom install with only Windows, and then put everything on it yourself, and you know that it's fully fresh, nothing that can break, like because you didn't use a uh because you used the like server 2016 or 2013 or 2008. 2008 is actually not possible, but 2012 is, I think. Not sure. But that's, yeah. My headset is about to go down, so I need to plug it in real quick. And in the meanwhile, this is just installing. You can do something else. We have we want to connect to the host. I've already set up a Windows machine that we can actually link up with the server. So that's quite nice. You can just do this and then it's done. And then you can just control everything, like put custom backgrounds in or anything you want. It's probably possible. I also know what I forgot in the description, so I'm going to actually put that in right now. Group policy. Group policy, yes. Group policy. That's also a very useful thing to just manage all of your things centrally, which is like so good. In my opinion, it's one of the best features of the whole setup. And of course, shares are important as well. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. But for now, I actually need to change the network because I don't want to use a DHCP server from VMware. I can, but I don't want to, because we're going to make a DHCP server on this Windows machine on the server. So you can make reservations and do that all centrally, which is really nice for like checking if why things don't work. Otherwise, you need to get into the DHCP server. It's also possible, by the way, to do this in Linux. I've shown you that in another video where I set up a Ubuntu server. You can probably find it on my channel if you want to. But that's really easy as well. You can also create a virtual machine on this. If you create a virtual machine on this Windows server, then you can also install that on there if you want to. That's also possible. Like, then you need one less machine or physical machine, which is really nice. But it's installing the files right now. I need to just have a drink because I'm already talking for 8 minutes actually. That's a long time. And you see that it's almost done. Like, Windows Server installation is quite fast. I'm not going to share my ISO. You probably can find it somewhere, like if you Google for it or something, or I don't know. I'm going to check right now. Yeah. Wait. Wait. Is there actually a Windows Server 2022 already? That's very weird. But okay. Okay, that's insane. So I'm going to download that right now. And then I can check that out on my own, but I was not informed about this. And this is all downloadable from like the Microsoft thing. Like um that's actually insane. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess you should download that as well if you have the chance. Because I don't know if that's something new or what it is exactly. But that's insane. I was fully not aware of it. My password is going to be with a starting with a capital P at and then a it's going to be this. Don't use this ever in a production environment. It's a password. Like, this is my home server. Nobody can access this. So, there's no harm. But, get something much easier. Much easier to remember. And also to, like, not leak any information. Which is quite important. Okay, then you press Ctrl Alt Delete if you're working on a physical machine, which I'm not, so I'm going to use the VMware equivalent. And then you log in with your password you just created, and it starts up. Wow, that's cool. That's very cool. Okay, you can. I would suggest starting if you have like this kind of screen. Then I would suggest starting, like getting it in the right thing. Yeah. this. Because it's a business network, you can do that. Otherwise, don't. Just don't. You want to get those changes. And I didn't go through for some reason. Probably because of me. And then it's starting up. It's always quite slow. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So, where do we want to start? That's the question. We currently have internet, but we said we should turn it off and press OK. In the meantime, I actually closed that out too early. I just done that. Now we want to set up DHCP. And this is all going to be time-stamped later. I'm going to watch this VOD back or video replay thing. I don't know what it's called on YouTube. And I'm all gonna set this up that you guys can just see this. So we want to know the IP address, which is 192.168.0.0. We know that. We start up Notepad. It does exist in here, I know. The IP is 192.168.0.0 is the network. So, and then it's a /24 because this is the subnet mask, which in binary would be, I don't know how many ones that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dot 0. That's the same thing. This is the same thing, essentially. But this is written binary, and this is written in decimal. But like, if you know, like your, if you know, like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. If you count all of those up, you should come out at 255. Which then means you have 255.255.255. And this is all 8. This thing is 8-bit, or yeah, 8 bits. 8 bits. And 8 bits. So if you count that all up, you come out at 24. That's my networking, it's my real quick networking course. Then we need to get the gateway. What's that? It's the way you're getting on the internet. That's all it is, essentially. I don't know if you can see this. No, you can't. And that's in our case 192.168. 192.168.0.0.2. That's our gateway. Our DNS server. Very important, of course. Our DNS server is going to be, for the whole network, it's going to be ourselves. So it's 192. Actually, first our IP is 192.168.0. Let's make it 10. I don't know what I have with 10, but I just normally do that. .10. That's going to be we're going to be the DNS server. And you can actually set this up as secondary DNS. I make this primary. That's our primary DNS server. And this can be like, I don't know, let's say our gateway has a DNS forwarding service, I don't know. That's possible. Or it can be 1.1.1.1, which is Cloudflare's DNS server. Also very good, very reliable. So that's also possible. So now we know our settings. What's going to be our domain name? That's very important to know. We can also set this up in DNS. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. I'm going to use, for example, I always use contoso.com. And that can be our domain. We can set that up later as well. So that's very good. Let's see, what do we need to get more? We don't have any Win servers. Wins, that was like before contoso.com, or was it .net? I think it was .com. So now we know all of our settings. That's very important. Now we first want to set up our own network, like the connection. We first want to set it up all by yourself. And you go to Windows servers always. This one does work, okay. Normally this doesn't. But it happens. It happens. You go to properties. You go to IP4. Properties. Use the following IP. we just made this IP address scheme. Talking is very difficult, I know. It's very difficult. So we said our IP address is going to be 192.168.0.10, and our subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.0. Our default gateway is going to be 192.168.0.2. Our DNS server is going to be our own server, which in this case we can use our own IP address like this, 192.168.0.10. That's possible, but if for whatever reason you're getting another IP, then we can also do a loopback address. That's a lot of servers in that spot. You can also do what's called a loopback address. And this just refers to your own PC directly. Doesn't matter which IP address is in here. It doesn't really matter. Like, if this, for example, changes to 11, you don't need to change it here. That's why you probably want to put this on a loopback address. And our secondary DNS was going to be 1.1.1.1, and you press OK. If you're going to use IPv6, then you can leave this on. It should automatically get something. You can also get a static IP address if you want to, but we're not going to use it, so I'm just going to turn it off. It will be necessary somewhere in the future because the IPv4 space is very small. That's why we're having a lot of issues right now, which we then need to like convert another network to another network, and it's just a mess. So that's what IPv6 is for. So we close that. I was like thinking, what? Why doesn't it work? But it does. So now we set up our own connection. Now we need to set up the connection for everyone else. So we want to get I should actually get networking in here as well. We should then try to install a DHCP server, which is of course quite easy. Go to manage, go to add roles and features. I'm going to skip this page by default, but you can just leave it on. And this is a very important. Like, I'm not going to download all the security updates because that's taking too long. But in a real production environment, I would suggest doing this. I also forgot one thing. And I think it's quite important. I just see that like my computer name. Like, what's this? Like, how do you know which kind of server this is? Or it could be a PC, it could be a laptop for all you know. So that's what I want to change right now. So you can change the computer name. That's quite easy. Like, I normally do something like DC for the main controller. I'm going to come back on that later because that's going to be the primary function of this machine. We're at contoso.com. And 01, for example. DC Contoso 01. That's totally fine. If you have that somewhere in your spreadsheet, it's fine. If you leave it normally, but if you lose that spreadsheet, you don't know what anything is anymore. It's very difficult to find. and you immediately see, oh, this is a DC for domain controller for Contoso, and it's number 01. So that's why I like that kind of thing. We need to restart the computer, and we can do actually the cancel actually. I'm just going to save this real quickly to like the desktop, because it doesn't really matter. Network, and then we'll restart. I don't know. Operating system reconfiguration. It's planned because you're still starting it. Can normally select that. It's good practice. We can do the same thing here. You can go to, I think it's called System. Right click on the Windows thing, on the Windows logo. Open it, and then you wait 10 minutes, apparently. And you see it currently has the name Desktop OOCKHHN, which is like really not recognizable in any way. So you want to rename this PC. And I personally hate this. You can do this like PC Contoso 01, for example. Press next. It all works. But it's limited in functionality. You can also go down here, and you have renamed this PC Advanced. And it's really not that advanced, but okay. You can, to rename this computer or change the domain or work group, click change, and you can change it here as well. And you may notice this is the same as on the server. And learning new stuff is never fun. Let's see, do I need to get anything else? Yes. Okay, I need to do that another time then. But this is quite easy. If you want to actually get remote desktop working, you can do that here. Allow remote connection to this computer. I wouldn't necessarily use NLA, but it's the only thing you have, unless you're in a domain which can verify your identity with a password, then this would be the best option. But as we're not in the domain, we don't want to use this, and we can't really select any users, but that doesn't really matter. Can cancel this. We can restart this PC as well. And then in the meantime, the Windows Server should be up again. Press Ctrl-Alt-Delete. You log in with your passwords. And it then needs to load for a second. And of course it's crashing as well. Because it's Windows, it needs to apparently. And it's very slowly starting up. It's very slow. It's still not fully started up. Should have probably given it more speed, but what can I do? It's still not started up. And Notepad just started up, but still not everything. But wow. What's wrong with this machine? Oh my gosh. It's doing nothing intensive, right? When can I? This is very weird, but we need to wait for the server managers to start up, so can't do anything right now. Has chat something to say, by the way? Oh my gosh. It's finally starting up. And started. So yeah, where did we left off? Oh yeah. We started to install. Wow. I've never seen this message before. That's how slow this is. Still not? Really? Today? Anytime? Thank you. Okay, we want to install a role or a feature. And we don't want to actually put it on a remote server, which is this technically. I think. Could be wrong. You need to select which server you want to install it on. And we only have one, so it's easy. Oh my gosh. This is insane. Okay, we want to install a DHCP server. Oh my gosh. Want to add those features. You press next. Or you want to add the role. At least. This is all not really that useful right now. So we don't need it. Whatever you do, don't install this because it's just bad, to be honest. But you don't need to click anything here. You can just press next. Press next. You want to install this. I think you need to restart. So you want to also press that. Unless you're doing something, then don't. Wow. No network access. Like, Windows is always a little bit finicky with stuff. That's quite normal. Thank you. You can close this now. And you can, if you push on this flag here, you can press that and then complete DHCP configuration. Because we're not yet done. Of course. It's going to create automatically the DHCP administrators group and the users group, which is normal. And just do that and then close. And then we don't need this. You can delete this if you want to. Then you press. Why can't I? You can just go here. I just totally forgot. You press right click on here. Find DHCP manager. You unfold this. You press on IPv4 if you want to create an IPv4 scope. A scope is a bunch of addresses that it can distribute. So you want to get a new scope. We want to click next. What's our name of the scope going to be? Scope. Scope at Contoso. Scope at Contoso. You want to get the first available address in here, which is in our case 192.168.0.1, and the last one is 192.168.0.254. The length is 24 or 255.255.255. As said, you press next. You you want to exclude a few addresses, which are for the gateway, for network equipment, for example. So let's say the first 10 addresses are for networking and other servers, and I don't know. And the last one is 192.168.0.10. And you want to add that. So that's never going to be given out to a computer, which is normal. Then you can press next. You can set up the lease duration. So when you get an IP address, how long can someone keep that IP address before it needs to re-ask for one? You can set it to like 100. And I think 999 is the highest, but yeah, 999 is the highest. So that's essentially for 3 years, which that's a long time. And then it can just re-ask for one, and then, but you don't always want this. And if something happens, then that's a very big issue. So you want to then press next. You can configure the Dhp options. And here comes the default gateway into play, of course. 192.168.0.2. You press add. Let's see. I need this one. Yes. If you have another one, then put it in. It automatically got this. The 192.168.10 and the 1.1.1. For example, I don't want 1.1. I want 8.8.8.8. Like, you don't like Cloudflare for some reason, then you can change that if you want to. Then you can press. Press add. And it is found, so you can press next. We don't currently have any Win servers anymore because it's very old. You can activate the scope by actually leaving this on, and then it should automatically give out IP addresses. Press finish. You press right click here, I thought. That's very weird. But .0.10. You authorize your own server. Okay. I get that then. I should have probably done this differently, but no worries. We can still recover. You go to. Let's see. How do I want to do this? This is partially because we haven't installed Active Directory yet or made it a part of any domain. If you did, then the installation will be a little bit different. So I'm actually going to delete this one. Actually, delete. Yes. let's see. We're first going to do active directory. First going to set up Active Directory. What the hell? So we don't want to do this yet. I'm first going to actually install Active Directory. You do that by pretty much the same way you did DHCP. You press next after this. Unless you have remote, unless you want to use this thing. I don't exactly know what this is. I know you can install it on a virtual machine as well. Then this one is very nice. But we are not, so unfortunate. You want to select this server. Press next. You want to have Active Directory domain services. And you press that. Add features. And I think that's it. Yes, it is. Press next. It's going to install a few things automatically, like group policy management. I know there's one other one here. I knew there was another one at least, but I can't find it. I think this one is it. Yeah, this one is also automatically installed. So it's quite nice. You press next then. You can actually also use like Azure Active Directory services, but the issue with this is if, for example, your internet goes down, you can't log in. You can't do any work. So I'm personally not a huge fan, but I can get where people are coming from. So you just press next if you don't want this, then press next. You need a restart, so if a restart is required, the server restarts automatically without additional notifications. Do you want to allow automatic restarts? I currently do because I don't want to press restart. I am lazy a little bit. So this should take a little while. Not too long. And it should then almost... Oh, it actually didn't need to restart. Oh. It's actually not that great, I don't think. But no worries. We can then actually promote. It's called promoting. When you're making a server to a domain controller. Which a domain controller is essentially the main server which controls the whole domain. You can have multiple of them. That's also possible for redundancy purposes or for like quick logon times, less communication to like Azure, for example. It's also possible. So we want to promote the server. Do we want to add this server to an existing domain? I personally don't. Do we want to add a new domain to an existing forest? I don't currently. We currently don't even have a forest, so we want to add one. And we're going to have a root domain which is contoso.com. And then you press next. You probably want to leave this thing right here. I don't know how this is in 2022. I am going to look at this in a later video maybe. So, doesn't matter. We want to actually like be able to demote the server as well at some point maybe. You can do this easily by getting a password in here. Like I'm just going to use password, and you can, with this password, you can actually demote the server as well, which is quite nice if you have a lot of data on it. We also actually want to install DNS because it's necessary for the it's not really necessary, but you need to then actually say like someone else needs to do this, and it needs to be authorized, and it's a little bit of a hassle. So I'm just going to leave that on. Yeah, we currently can't create a DNS delegation because we don't have a domain yet, so that's quite logical. You press next here. Net BIOS name is going to be Contoso, I think. And you press next. Unless you want to change it, of course. But I would suggest leaving this here. It's possible to change it, but it can hurt you a lot more than it's probably worth. So you just press next. Then you press next again, unless you want to use the script. That's also possible. Let's see. We want to install. You probably want to look through all of this. I've already done that, and I know it's in here exactly. And it's actually loading, which is nice. my gosh. Oh, let's see. This is taking a very long time. It's configuring the DNS. It's still doing that. So it's taking a very long time, to be honest. Never really seen it load this long. I normally make my VMs quite OP, but I didn't for this one. And I immediately notice it. That's the worst thing. And it's also not helping that it's not on a SSD. So yeah. Shut down. Unplanned. I don't care for now. Let's hope it doesn't come up. It didn't. Okay, that's nice. We actually want to use this like this, and then press OK, and then restart. Then it should be a lot faster. And it's starting up. Oh gosh. What? Let's see. Oh my gosh, what's taking it so long? Oh my gosh. I'm already streaming for an hour and I really am not doing anything right now. So I think I'm going to stop this here, and I'm letting this finish and then maybe starting up. Just this is taking too long. I don't know what's going on. I need to check this out because this is not good. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys all next time. This is part 1 of 2 then. One, 2. Yes. 1 of 2. And thank you guys for watching, and see you guys all next time. Bye.